What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be comparing the size of a bunch of different firearms to a Glock 26 15+1 setup, right? This is my favorite setup right here. It uses the SLR Rifleworks +5 base plate, so 15+1 setup, and this, like you're going to see in a couple minutes here, shorter than a Glock 19. Shorter than using that 15-round OEM Glock mag. This is still an OEM Glock mag with an OEM spring, just an SLR +5 base plate. Anyways, compare it to the Hellcat with a 13+1 setup. See that? And then width. Obviously, that's where the Glock 26 loses in a lot of these comparisons. 43X, 15 on the right, 15 on the left, because I am using Shield Arms 15-round mags, which are aftermarket mags, so use at your own risk. But the same length, just the width. Taurus G3C, about the same in width, same in length. 15 rounds on the right, 12 on the left. Let's go CZ next. Love my CZ P10S. 15 on the right, 15 on the left, both using different base plates. One of my favorite firearms because it was my first, or one of my first, Springfield Armory XD. 13+1 on the left, 15+1 on the right, and it is a little thicker than the Glock 26, but also a little shorter. Glock 19 build, 15 rounds on the left. Sorry, let me even them out a little more. 15 rounds on the left, 15 rounds on the right. Taurus GX4, 11 rounds on the left, 15 rounds on the right. Obviously thinner by about a quarter inch. Length, obviously, it's shorter as well. It's going to be my Glock 29. Obviously, can't really compare them because different ammo. 10 millimeter, I think that's 11 rounds on the left, 15 on the right of 9 millimeter. So actually pretty decent comparison. Let's go Glock 30 next. This is going to be an 11+1 setup as well of 45 ACP versus 15+1 of 9 millimeter. Obviously, it's going to be thicker, a little longer because it is a longer barrel. Then we'll do this little funny comparison. Ruger LCP Max, 10+1 a 380 ACP. I mean, look at the thickness is hilarious. Look at that. 10+1 on the left, 15+1 on the right. Actually, pretty darn decent for the Ruger LCP Max. Next up is a budget option, a Glock clone. This is a Stoeger STR9 Compact, 13+1 on the left, 15+1 on the right. Has a longer barrel, so that's given, and about the same width. One of my favorite firearms. A lot of people say I'm a SIG hater, that I can't stand SIG, that I talk down on SIG. The truth is, I just don't think the X Macro is the greatest thing in the world. I shoot other firearms better, but I do carry my P365X often, as I've talked about, as I've made videos about. Love this firearm, very ergonomic. Now, 15+1 on the right, 12+1 on the left, because it is using the X grip module. So we'll do that again. And then obviously it's going to be much thinner. And like I've said in previous videos, but people wanted me to point it out, shout out to the P365 from SIG. It's the OG. It is the reason we have a lot of these small firearms with large capacity. Now, one of my favorite Micro 9s, Smith & Wesson CSX, one of the most hated firearms on the internet, and for no reason at all, just because of a couple reviews from influencers. That's going to be the 12-round mag on the left, 15+1 on the right, so pretty comparable, I feel like, but much thinner. Obviously, hammer fired, striker fired. Micro 9, it's going to be thinner, but a great firearm. Love my CSX. Definitely underrated. Glock 45, so that's going to be a 17-round mag on the left, so 17+1 versus 15+1. And we're going to go here. So obviously longer. It's got 4-inch barrel. About the same width. Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, another one of my favorite firearms. Definitely underrated, best value out there. You can get these for about $375 right now, $400. Can't beat it. Plus they have the 15-round mag, which I've made videos comparing. Look how thin that thing is. That's ridiculous. That is so thin. So that's going to be the, I believe that's a 13+1 setup. On the left and then 15+1 on the right. Obviously, because of the thinness, it loses in that capacity battle, but a great firearm, has a much better trigger than my Glock 26, I will say that. And then for all my single stack lovers out there, because I am one, and if you have a Glock 43X, and technically you are a single stack lover as well. A lot of people don't realize that. When they have a 43X, they'll talk down on a single stack, but it's like literally if I added just the base plate to my single stacks, I made it 10+1 or did mag guts or something like that, you literally have a 10+1 setup with the OEM mag still from whatever company I'm talking about with my single stack, for like my FN 503 or my Glock 43, stuff like that. You can make them have plenty capacity, which would be definitely comparable to this 43X right here, which is a single stack. So don't be hating on single stacks. They have a place. They have a look how thin that firearm is, and that's going to be an 8+1 setup. On the right, obviously 15+1, but much more concealable, lighter. So I get why people carry single stacks. I carry single stack 5 days a week while working, and even sometimes around the house, stuff like that. Obviously much thinner. Love the 43X. Love the Glock 26. All these are great firearms. Doesn't matter if it's a Taurus G3C. Doesn't matter if it's a GX4. Doesn't matter if it's a Glock 45. Doesn't even matter if it's, where's my SIG? My SIG P365X. I actually really like this firearm. Comes with great sights right out of the box. Something Glock doesn't give you. My main thing when it comes down to the Springfield Army Hellcat and the P365 is look at the rail on the SIG. Notice what's on the Hellcat. Look right here. You have these little indents, these memory pads, right? Whereas it works for a nice memory pad to remind you to keep your finger off the trigger. It's just a good, muscle memory habit to put your finger there. So it's nice to have something that's familiar, which is fine. But when you're going to put your thumb here for support, it slides in this. And now I know that people say the SIG is less snappy than the Hellcat. That's debatable. But I just don't like the thumb sliding because there's nothing stopping it. There's no indent. And you can't even do what I do here, like with handle lighter series grips on my 43. There's nothing there, but I put something to have a little bit of resistance, a little bit of force applied the opposite direction of that your slide's going to go. Now on the Hellcat, they did it beautifully, just like the GX4 did. They made these awesome little indents right here. And they're nice. Yes, is that going to help you fight recoil? That's all you need? No, but it's really nice. It's a good memory pad, and it just helps you stay in the pocket, keeping that thumb where you need it and not going anywhere. Like I said, the GX4 did the same thing. The GX4 is an awesome little grip pad right there, and that's what they call it, the memory pads. They're really nice, and they really do help, honestly. You may not even notice it, but they do help. So I try and put them on every firearm, even though this doesn't have it on this side because of the holster. I have it on this side. I just like that feel right there. It's a good thing to get used to. And I have nothing against the SIG at all. I do carry this. It's a great light firearm to carry around. Trustworthy now. Now, was it trustworthy when I got it? It lasted about 400 rounds. Sent it back to SIG. They fixed a sear spring that was out of spec. Sent it back, and had a single issue since. I've ran everything out of it except steel ammo. So that's that. CSX, most hated firearm. Anyways, just wanted to compare a bunch of these different firearms I have on here size-wise because people always ask to do comparison videos. So I just thought I'd get a little chunk out of the way of a lot of the popular different carry firearms. I know it helps people with making decisions and so on, because sometimes when you see something like this and realize how small that thing is, even though it has capacity, you realize that really does affect the shootability of it. Plus, it's going to be 380 ACP. So a lot of people like to see this, comparisons and capacity and that whole discussion. So that's why I made this video. Anyways, thanks for watching.